do want to create a platform because I'm working on a secondary show, even from this one, that I want people to tune in to people like yourself and people with something to say versus just, hey, this is what's hot, I'm gonna play. What I really like about you is this: every one of your albums sounds totally different from the last one. It's like a whole one of the few underground artists that reinvent yourself every album. I think that's super dope. What causes that reinvention? What attributes to that, I should say?
I think the biggest thing is, I'm trying to experiment with sounds every time I do something. Like I just did an LSD project, and the dude is from New Zealand. It's kind of like psychedelic driven. You know what I'm saying? So, yes. And that's something that I hadn't done before. So I think musically, I like to take a different musical landscape to paint my same, well, not the same picture. It's a different picture, but at the same time, it's still true to who I am. Like I can't think of one song I've ever made in my life that wasn't me. You know what I mean? Like I can't. I don't look back at any. Like I might listen to a song and say, "Oh man, I could have chose a better beat, or I could have said that rap better, or I could have did something better." But I sleep well at night just knowing that at least what I put down on paper is what I stand for. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to reach and overextend myself and put down stuff that I didn't believe. As a man, forget the MC part. Just as a man, to know that with these different musical landscapes and the different vibes that I'm able to do, that I'm able to take that content, my ingredients, so to speak, that I cook with, and apply those ingredients and come up with a different dish on every record. You know what I'm saying? I think that's just the growth of me as an MC, of knowing what direction that I want to go. But I think the biggest impact from project to project, where people can say, wow, this is totally different sound-wise than the other ones, is the musical landscape, the producers that I choose to use. You know what I'm saying? And I'm honest about the beats, too. So if the music takes me somewhere, I'm going to go. You know what I'm saying? And, so luckily I've been able to collab with producers that were able to capture the different phases of who I am as an MC and still make it interesting sonically. And you know what I'm saying? That allows my job to be easy. You know what I'm saying? I grew up rhyming, so there's nothing to really put down my thoughts. It's just to make, my main thing is I'm just not trying to recreate musically any previous projects that I've done. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest leap that I take to make people appreciate the different projects.
Man, hey, you are spot on. It's very few artists, in my opinion, that hit their target audience every single time. KRS-One, Tupac, and you are one of the few. There's others, but right off the top of my head, y'all hit y'all target audience every single time, and I really respect that. It ain't no variation in you. This is guilt. Every rip. This is who I am. It's Apollo Brown. Right. This how I get down. LSD. This how I get down. One of my favorite albums is The Son of Detroit. Insane. Love it. And love it.
Yeah, was. Thank you. And then if you really think about the Detroit Sun project, it was that was another thing too. I did that with my guy Catalyst, and he's a producer out of Australia. And, he was using a lot of different. Original records from Australia and just different content. And when I was able to go out there and vibe with him, and just really get in the studio with him, and just to kind of understand the importance of the records that he was using and why he was using them on this album, it just opened up another layer of creation for me to be able to respectfully approach these records and kind of get an idea where they might have originally came from. And that would also help with the subject matter of where I was going with my record. You know what I'm saying? Because for people to come from that area and to be like, wow, this record came from an Australian band here, and it was, if the song was about something, I wouldn't make it identical to the content of the original record, but I still would put elements in it to so kind of marry the track, so to speak, with the vocals and the origins of where it came from. And like I said, I've worked with a lot of great big name producers, whether it's Dilla, Madlib, Mr. Porter. I work with a whole bunch of great, amazing producers, but I don't attach names with the production. If you're a producer that can give me what I need to create, that's all I need. You know what I'm saying? And that that's basically the essence in the marriage between an MC and a rapper. I mean, a producer is that, hey, if you had the sound, man, we could create music together. Now it's so much politics, and I want to put this name with that name and this label with that label, and they think it more from a marketing standpoint than just the organic creation of dope records. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get back to that, because that's the foundation of what I am, rather than reaching. I've never created a song like, whoa, this is going to kill them in the club. That's not my reach. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm trying to accomplish. I just want to make sure my music is organic. Whoever rocks with it can rock with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with the results after that.
That's dope, man. Hold it. So you went to New Zealand and Australia to record those two joints?
Yeah, well, I was on tour, and when I was on tour in Australia, I also went to New Zealand, and a guy, Jeremy Toy, who I did the LSD project with, I met him when I was on tour, and we just did a song there, and then I went back home, and then that's when we did the LSD project kind of recently. But my guy Catalyst, when I did Detroit Sun, I did a lot of that literally in Australia. I was out there in Sydney with him kicking it. We was at the lab, smoking and getting right, and just kind of vibing out, and was able to create that project. And in some cases, it helps it flow a lot better. It's actually really a production when somebody's there. You know what I'm saying? We're in the cyber world now where I can send vocals to Japan right now, and somebody can send the beat back, and you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of the real essence of creation out of it, because everything, it's almost like self-checkout at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? You become so independent in your own world that you don't interact and kind of get a true vibe and a true, feel of the temperament of, the creation of this. You know what I'm saying? I want to say the rap with the producer and vibe out to the beat, and we like, oh yeah, let's do this, and you know what I'm saying, and adjust and stuff. And I think sometimes the email era has taken away that personable vibe that people need, to come out with the best product. So I was really thankful for that.
Man, I'm so glad you touched on that, because I think that's what's missing. Like, everybody was wigging out over the 444 Jay-Z project, and Jay-Z and the homie from Chicago, No ID, did that together. And I was going to ask you that. How do you feel about people just emailing everything instead of just the whole, like you said, sitting back, smoking, drinking, kicking it, feeling the music, and then spitting?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not opposed to it, and I'll never argue with the results. However, you know what I'm saying? I just think, it just flows and vibes better when you guys can throw around random ideas. If you got to think about it, especially with me working with people in Australia and New Zealand, we on different time zones. If I need to know his opinion about something I did for a song, I'm going to have to email it to him and wait 8 hours before he even wakes up to respond to what I did. And by then, I still might be listening and vibing to the song, but to catch it in the true essence, you know what I'm saying? While I'm recording it. Hey, bro, what you think about this? Oh, man, I think that's dope, but let's try this. You know what I'm saying? To be able to spontaneously make on-the-spot adjustments sometimes, in my opinion, captures the essence of the song. I mean, I might record the vocals Tuesday. He might want me to make an adjustment, and he calling me from New Zealand. I might not be able to get to that till Friday. So I'm trying to recapture how I felt Tuesday to add something Friday. And sometimes you sacrifice the soul of the songs, you know what I mean? Like the whole essence of the song, and I've done that with experience. Some projects have felt kind of robotic to me because I was literally in the studio by myself, just working my way through, whatever issues I was having and sending it back to him and wondering, is he saying it's okay because he want to hurry up and beat the deadline, or was it really okay? You know what I'm saying? So I think those are things I wouldn't have had to guess if we were in the studio together. So I think this digital world, in a sense, has sacrificed a lot of organic, vibes, to projects and records, you know what I'm saying? And I want to get back and, stay consistent with that as much as I can. Being in the lab with the producer in the same city, same room, and figuring it out.
I totally agree, man. I think hip hop was way much better. It was much better when, like you said, you in the lab with Dilla, and Dilla can say, "No, I think you should say it like this." And then it's that equal. It's like I was speaking about earlier. The equilibrium is on point. You feeling him, he feeling you, and y'all just going at it. Versus, like you said, no self check, and now you spinning around wondering, well, how's this sounding? What's the deal with this? So I definitely get that, man. I definitely get that. Speaking of Dilla, speaking of the D, hip hop in the D, like I said, early '90s Slum Village, Dilla, Elzai, yourself. Talk to me about growing up in the D and hip hop in the D, please.
Oh man, it was amazing, especially in the '90s. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was our golden time. You know, where a lot of us was kind of developing the craft. We was young, frequenting the same spots. You know, rapping in the same open mics. You know, before any of the politics got out, man, it was it was something to see. You know what I'm saying? And, just something to really be a part of. And like I said, I still cut my teeth on those times. That's still that's still the motivation. That's still the fire that burns in me, is that, to keep it real, honestly, I might be vibing to a beat and I might be listening to some music, and sometimes I'll just drift off and I'll just remember how stuff was. And by the time I come back to what I'm doing, I got a full song, concept, just everything that I know. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to tap into just this aura that was created when we were young. You got to think about it, man. I used to go to an open mic where Elzai was rapping every week. Royce might come through. You know what I'm saying? Conniver from D12, and just a lot of great MCs. To be able to see these guys on a Tuesday, maybe at the Lush Lounge, or a Wednesday, and say, hey, damn, I got to kill it tonight. You know what I'm saying? And to go from week to week, to see the progression of these guys. Like, none of these dudes stayed the same. Elzai was getting more and more incredible every week. You know what I'm saying? Royce was getting more and more incredible every week. You know what I'm saying? Every day you were seeing these guys develop. You know what I'm saying? And it just made you take your pen a lot more serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys influenced me more than they'll probably ever know, even though I do tell them, you know what I'm saying? Like, I give them the flowers while they can still smell them. But I don't think they understand, just the vibe, you know what I'm saying? It was to be like, hey man, I gotta hold my weight amongst these guys. I already know Elzai coming with haymakers next week. I gotta be on point. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was the motivation to make me want to become a better MC. I wasn't thinking about selling records. I wasn't thinking about going on tour. I wasn't thinking about none of that. All I was thinking about, I got to be on point next week when I get on this open mic. So it made me gain an appreciation for the process. Some people think from A to Z, but they don't think about A to B, B to C, C to D. You know what I'm saying? When you come up and you really rapping to stay alive and not to embarrass your family and different things like that, I wasn't even thinking about Z. I was enjoying the process from B to C, C to D, because during these periods, man, you would think you was dope rapping in your basement, man. You'll go out, these dudes will embarrass you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, you just sitting in your basement being alone wasn't enough to keep your sword sharp. You had to go out amongst the warriors to understand where you really were at that point in your career. You know what I'm saying? So it was excellent, man. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't trade that for the world. My man's Fat Cat, and man, I could probably talk to you for an hour about the MCs that didn't make it. Some of the best MCs from Detroit, Michigan, the world don't know and maybe will never know. So it's always been a melting pot of talent, and I've always humbly appreciated the talent. I think that's what made me, kind of who I am. Because even though I feel like just like you refer to me as a super MC and a dope MC, And I really appreciate that, but nothing inspires me more than hearing another MC that's cold. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing
That's
inspires